everyone, and welcome to Tykes Tips. I'm Dr. Hannah, and I am a mental health consultant in the New Orleans area. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about difficulties with sharing objects in young children. So if you're a parent and you have children at home, or you are a teacher of young children, then you know that it is very common to have difficulties with children sharing objects. And this is because sharing is something that, like an academic skill, we have to teach to young children. So let's go through a couple of tips for promoting sharing in young children. So our first tip is to set up your environment for success. This is especially important in childcare environments where there are multiple children and multiple toys. So the tip is really to see which items are the most highly preferred and have a couple of those, have some duplicates. For instance, if you notice that all of the children in your center always fight over that red car, then the simplest thing that you can do is have a couple of red cars for the children to play with. So our next tip is to talk about sharing frequently and to model this for your child. So you really want your child to learn the connection between the word share and what the actual action of, sharing toys and objects is. So you can do this through everyday interactions with your child. You can say, I'm gonna share my blue pencil with you. Or you can do it through things like stories, reading a book. You can, find instances where a character gives something to another character and you can label it as sharing for your child. Other things that you can do are, use videos and maybe find instances of sharing in movies or cartoons. And then also puppets are a great way, especially in a classroom, to teach the concept of sharing to children. Tip number 3 is to provide labeled praise. So labeled praise goes a little bit beyond the typical, good job that we may say to a child, but really labeling and being specific about what they're doing that you like. So instead of saying good job, you may say, good job handing your toy to James. That was great sharing. So really telling them exactly what you liked about what they were doing instead of just being more general about it. And this kind of goes for any behavior. If you want your child to increase any positive behavior, then use that really specific praise to tell them what you like that they're doing and why it's good that they're doing it. And our last tip is to provide emotional support to young children when they're having difficulties with sharing. So sharing is kind of hard, right? It's not always fun to be engaging in something really fun and playing with your favorite toy and then having to give it up to a friend. That's really hard. So using, labeled emotions of, I know you're really sad because you had to give up your favorite baby doll. Let's go find another toy to play with. So just showing them that you're there and supporting them and acknowledging that it is a little bit tough to share. So those are our 4 main tips on handling difficulties with children sharing objects. And, it's important to have reasonable expectations, that it takes some time to develop sharing as a skill. But if you do have more concerns that you're following these tips and your child for some reason is just having more difficulty, you can always reach out to one of our consultants through our teleconsultation services.